Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 8. Now, in the last episode, I finally finished doing the wheat fields in my base, and actually let's take a look from the sky, because this is just that amazing. This whole island here, now fully covered in wheat, terraformed, covered in wheat, all of that good stuff has been done. But I guess you could say, maybe a little bit more importantly, I went through the long and laborious process of draining this here ocean monument completely, and that's about where we ended off the last episode. It was actually most of the last episode's, everything really was just draining this, getting this thing ready, doing the draining, all that, but it is completely bone dry in here now, which means it is now a good time to get actually removing the monument itself. However, in order to do that, I'm going to need to set up this beacon that I got at the beginning of the last episode and then proceeded to not use. Oh, we love how things work. So to do that, we're going to dig straight down here, because what could possibly go wrong? Okay, beacon has been installed at the bottom of the world here, so we won't have any range issues, and noticeably though, I'm lacking the enchantment, or the achievement, for making the beacon, which is a bit confusing. I won't lie, I was kind of expecting that, considering I literally just placed and activated the beacon here, but guess Mojang had other ideas? Now that the beacon has been set up, it is of course time to take down the monument, and also start digging the hole that the Guardians will end up falling into, so let's hop into a bit of a time-lapse to get that done. This hole has been, well, cleared of any obstructions, going all the way down. Now, I think this actual, like, pit in the center, so the farm is going to be built just above this. Oh yeah, also, I kind of just left the gold blocks in that treasure thing. This is actually floating, if you look at it. And yeah, I've left this here because I don't need it, and it's out of the way of the farm, so I'm just going to kind of leave it there, because why not? But anyhow, yes, this hole here, it goes all the way down to y equals 0, because that's actually farther, I think, than it needs to go to kill Guardians, but I thought that this would just be convenient enough of a distance. Because I remember, like, so this is the same farm design that I built back in Season 3, so we're building that one again. I remember having to build the hopper pad right on top of the bedrock for that, so I was like, okay, just go down to Y0, it's good enough. Deep Slate was a pain to mine through, so there was that. But there's this cave here. Okay, there's a creeper there. Okay, but yeah, there's this cave here that would be convenient for putting the redstone of the collection system in. So yeah, I think I will do that. But yeah, let's now hop into a time-lapse. I'm gonna stop randomly. Hop into a time-lapse of the farm getting built. Now, this farm might not look like too much. In fact, it might look like a blurry mess due to YouTube's compression. But I assure you, this is something so simple, so advanced that it defies expectations. That we just press this on button and the whole thing gets flooded with water. And now the farm is technically running, although because we're standing right next to it, nothing's going to spawn. So we go down the ladder. Oh yeah, I moved the ladder because, yeah, it would really would not work where it was. Now, as we get down to the bottom of this hole, we may start hearing some guardians falling and dying. May, because I don't know. Oh, the mob cap's full. So we're not going to see anything spawning and dying at all because, again, the mob cap is full. But if the mob cap wasn't full, I'd be getting... Oh, there they are. Showered by these guys. Alright, now that we got that done, now we need to work on building the storage system. Okay, so the big old pad of hoppers, as well as a few other things have been put in. So first of all, you can see some guardians down here. Big old pad of hoppers, as I said. Lots of hoppers. Maybe not that efficient on the server side of things, but oh well, it works. It's a simple option for this. Those obviously all feed into these droppers, which then shoot the items into the water stream. It's, turned off right now because it's very loud and annoying. Once in this water stream, items will be funneled down this way, up into there, and then here's where they will be filtered out. We'll get the crystals and the shards, and then hopefully this time we will automatically craft the sea lanterns. I have never actually done that before because last season I didn't do a guardian farm for some reason, and the season before that is when we got crafters midway through the season, so I didn't feel like doing it before then. So yeah, we're going to automatically craft sea lanterns, probably take some extra shards off at the end, and then everything else can either just set and despawn there or go into lava or something like that. But yeah, I guess I'll design an automated crafting system for sea lanterns now. Crafting systems have been installed. Now I decided that 3 was a good number and should hopefully keep enough up with the drop rate enough to be properly sustainable, I'll say. Hopefully I'm right about this. I haven't gone past this, but basically the way that this works, I built the same module 3 times, is we have a crafter, obviously. At the center of this module, there's 2 streams of items coming in. We have the prismarine shards and the prismarine crystals. They get funneled into the crafter, which will already have the recipe set like this. Then, once the resources back up a bit so that there's a strength 2 hopper in both, or signal strength 2 from both of these hoppers, it'll trigger this clock in the back to start crafting stuff. Hopefully, this is actually not terrible, because I just realized this could go way wrong if I do not... Here, let me explain. So what basically, once those both turn off, this decay clock can start decaying here, meaning that this will eventually go down to 0. Once down at 0, it will trigger this, and actually, I only have 1 repeater left, so I actually can't do this modification. I should have a repeater here on all of them so that it gives the best kind of back pressure to this thing to... Oh, wow, that's a bad explanation of what's going on. So let's take a little bit of a closer look here after the fact. What it wasn't showing in that clip is that there's a redstone line underneath the crafting apparatus here. So when both of the hoppers over this way get to a signal strength of 2, they effectively trigger this AND gate. Once both these torches turn off, this comparator clock can slowly wind down here. Once it has stopped outputting stuff, it'll turn off the torch underneath here, which is next to the crafter, triggering the crafter to craft, and also sending a new signal back into the clock to turn it on again. Should both of the hoppers over this way remain at a signal 2 strength, it'll then cause the clock to once again decay, causing another item to be crafted. The problem that I was speaking about before there was that this clock might craft faster than items can enter the crafter, which could eventually lead to items in the crafter running out, and therefore the recipe breaking. For now, they're just going to poop. They're pooping into these hoppers here. They're going to all be brought together, and then probably like right-ish here, I'll do the stack of chests that will be the output for sea lanterns. But for now, I can kind of let these things get going by turning on the output and letting whatever drop from the Guardians in the time that I've been working on this flow into the system. Albeit, it won't really start crafting anything, because again, this has to back up to signal strength 2 from the comparator, which just won't happen because of the amount of items it needs to backfill. But hey, we still end up with extra shards flowing off the end, which is actually good, because I'm going to put in some general shard storage after this, so I guess I'll continue work on that. All the extra storage that I wanted to add has been put in. It's all just for prismarine shards, so now the system should be all set up. apart from spawn proofing that I'm going to have to do here so that I can now just turn on the clock. I said turn on the clock. And just get out of here while 1.5 billion drops start flooding into the storage system. I have also installed the AFK platform so that we can see what a bit of AFKing at this farm without lighting up some of the few surrounding caves actually looks like. Okay, so after an admittedly rather long overnight AFK session, I've come back to up to this chest having sea lanterns in it. That is a heck of a lot of sea lanterns, and it looks like the third one here did not get sufficient prismarine crystals. It did occasionally get some, but it didn't sufficiently get them to actually be able to craft anything, but the first two definitely did. Also, all of these chests are full of shards over here, so that will never be needed again, and, you know, there's just spare ones lying on the ground. They're gonna despawn in the future. So yeah, I think I just need to light up the caves around here, and then we'll call this project done? Somehow. Now that I have acquired sea lanterns, I can step back into the tunnels here by the villagers and start decorating them. So I've come back into the villager decision room here and decided to overhaul this room a little bit, give it some more detail on the walls. They were just flat stone bricks and there was flat cobblestone on the ceiling. This obviously looks better. Obviously we have sea lanterns in here now for lighting instead of torches. And coming out to the hallway here, I have started placing in the sea lanterns, and we'll get to hopefully a decent looking decoration momentarily. The hallway has been transformed to a much more orderly, I guess, looking experience, while still having a fair bit of detail in there. So, obviously I had the sea lanterns here. They have been flanked by tough bricks here. The walls are mostly made out of stone bricks other than that, but we do have andesite to break that, or polished andesite that breaks all that up. The ceiling is primarily polished tough, but we've added a little bit of height variance by having these kind of like raised bits every so often. And then right by the lights, we have a regular block of tuff, just to change that texturing a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. And of course, the floor is made out of deep slate, so we're continuing like what we had in here for the floor out here. And we just got some regular cobbled deep slate as well as deep slate bricks in the floors here as well. The stairs going down to the villagers have been made looking better. I just realized I had no idea what I actually wanted to say there, but yeah. Kind of just following the design a little bit from the hallway. Obviously, it's too wide and basically all stairs, so the floor and ceiling are all flat. Not ideal, but I don't really care or know what I'm going to do. It's very much a transitional space until we get down here, where we can now get decorating this place, and it will look probably pretty similar, maybe also a bit different. Let's see. A new floor has been installed. Now, this is a little bit rougher than the floor. The floor up there is obviously mostly made out of polished deep slate, and this is mostly regular cobbled deep slate down here with bits of polished and bricks thrown in for a bit of texturing. Apart from this section, I have a different plan for what's going to happen over here at the chests. But now let's get going with the walls. The similar-ish, stylish pattern from the hallway up there, mostly stone bricks, has come down here, with the occasional sea lantern and tough bricks and polished andesite just kind of being mixed in here. Now, I haven't yet gotten to replacing the slabs in front of the villagers. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for those. I could do andesite, polished andesite for those, potentially. Or I could just do stone bricks, but, I mean, with the signs, it is a little bit annoying. Also important to note that these sea lanterns have only been put in places where it kind of might break things up a little bit. Like in the hallways here, we're not doing any additional lighting because the sea lanterns that are above here, by the way, I also did that. I put sea lanterns there, took out all the torches. Those will provide sufficient light in this place. We don't actually need to do additional lighting here. I decided to choose the andesite slabs as the blocks to use, and I've also just decided I can't be bothered with the signs over this way. They're not that important. These are all farmers. I'll just go around looking at each one to see if they have the trait I want. But yeah, so the walls are now complete. Let's head to the ceiling. Alright, there is the ceiling. It's basically, well, it's literally what I did up in the hallway up there. But otherwise, it's mostly the polished tuff with little up bits and the regular tuff there. So yeah, now that I have finished the decoration of all the rest of the villagers, let's do a little bit over here with the farm storage. This is what I had in mind for this decoration of the storage area here, and, you know, it's a bit more of a wooden theme. We got, you know, birch, spruce, oak, all the common tones with a little bit of texturing thrown in there. Very stark difference from the, more cold and, stone-feeling corridors of the villager trading here. But yeah, so that means now that we have finished at least this hallway's kind of transformation. I still have kind of the this open here so I can get in and out. Also, I put a door on the melon and pumpkin farm over this way just to keep it separated from the hallway. Now that the villager end of things has been wrapped up nicely, let's move over to the horses, where I kind of started to lay out my idea. So for this end, instead of doing like all the cold stone and deep slate, we're gonna do it a bit differently. So first of all, we're gonna have quartz pillars, or at least we're gonna try. That shit's quite expensive for me right now. We're gonna try to put quartz pillars through here, kind of acting like a little bit more of a sterile environment. And then we're also gonna, for at least the speed test room here, we're gonna make the ground look a bit like a road. And then maybe we'll dress the sides up like we're running past hills or something with the blue sky. I don't know. We'll see what goes on. This speed test room has, as you can see, been fully decorated. We have the road to run on beneath us, the rolling hills that we have apparently cut through on the sides that will blaze by, and of course the endless blue sky to decorate this room in a way that just does not fit with literally anything else in my base. That's fine. Out here we've also done the floor and extended the pillars and lighting around. Now these pillars are not evenly spaced because I kind of wanted them to mostly align with the actual doorways, which may have been a mistake. But yeah, we got a packed mud and brown concrete powder floor in here. As you can see, this is, well, the horses walk around here, so it's not too surprising that we can't keep this clean or full of, or free of poo. Honestly, you gotta watch your step in here, because there's a lot of poo on the ground, especially in here, where the horses are all the time, instead of just when they're walking around. You know, these things, they just kind of have a mind of their own. Anyhow, now let's see what we're gonna do for the walls. Walls are admittedly a bit interesting. Yeah, so I didn't really know what to do with the pillars, so I decided, hey, let's do a thing where we just have, like, birch planks along the bottom, and then we do some, like, reddish-pink terracotta up top. Maybe we do a little bit of texturing like this. I think this works. It's a little strange in terms of design, especially for the horse area with the dirt floor. I would, if possible, make the birch planks on the bottom here look a bit dirtier, like they probably should be, but these are supposed to be kind of like baseboards. They're designed to get dirty, not let the actual wall get dirty. Anyhow, now I gotta figure out what am I doing for the ceiling. So I decided to basically just copy what I've been doing for the ceiling on the other side over here. It works. It's like kind of a drab, boring ceiling. Just kind of like, don't pay attention to it. Pay attention to everything else. It works. There's a little bit of detail like with like the bumps in the ceiling as well. Now I haven't done anything over here because I don't know what I want to do for this room yet. Like what screams jump test, right? Like for the speed test over there, obviously we have a road, but what screams jump test? That is something I'm not too able to think about right now. But, yeah, I guess I'll get something for that in the future. But right now, I also decided to add a few leaf litters to the floor over this way. Because, while maybe it is supposed to be leaves, it also works well as bits of poo. Alright, this is what I came up with for this room. So the ceiling, pretty similar. I guess the ceiling is just kinda gonna be that one thing that's very similar throughout the entire underground of the base here. But yeah, the walls, I decided to mix a bit of polished diorite into the stone bricks, and so we have this pattern here. Maybe it could look better, but oh well, this is okay. Then for the floor, it's just regular smooth stone. I didn't bother trying to break it up with anything, because my mind's starting to go a bit fuzzy on what I'm doing for this. But yeah, and then down here we have deep slate as we head down into the depth of the testing zone, I guess you could call this here, with deep slate tiles all the way down at the very bottom, and I haven't changed this carpet color or put anything underneath it, so we're just going to pretend that's not there. But yeah, so that is this room done, and that means the only thing left at this moment in time to decorate underground here would of course be the exit tunnel. The exit tunnel has been finished here. Now, the walls and ceiling are both primarily made out of stone bricks. We do have some andesite in there occasionally, as you can see. The walls have the light sources and some smooth stone blocks kind of, you know, decorating the place up a bit. And then the floor is just regular smooth stone, as I could quite frankly not think of a better block to use for the floor, so I just didn't. I just left it as pure pure stone. I did, however, fix blemishes from like andesite and diorite or whatever that was left down there. So now that that's done, I think the underground area is pretty well complete, at least for now, I guess, until I build something else down here. So to round out the episode here, I'm going to start putting in some work on the medium priority paths in the path network. I built all the high priority paths in the network. Now it's time we can start working on the medium priority, and what I'm going to do here is the path that goes from this intersection here and connects in somewhere over that way to the path that heads up that way towards the Guardian Farm. So here's the path. We come up here, go basically directly diagonally through the savanna biome, and then we start entering this forest here. After we cross into the forest here, we head over this way, and oh look, we meet up with the path that goes over towards the ocean monument that way. But yeah, and now this path, I believe, will continue this way around that mountain and kind of meet up by the stone brick bridge that's over that way. Alright, the path has been fully completed and connected up here, so here's that stone brick bridge here, and oh, that shouldn't be there. Yeah, so yeah, my base right there. This is where the path ends up connecting in. It's effectively, we're just going around this mountain here. But yeah, we just take this nice little stroll through the woods here. Little bit of a twisty, turny, windy path. Barely nip the edge of the jungle here. Then we turn back this way again, going around the Mountain of Doom, as we always do. I don't know if this should actually be called the Mountain of Doom. Comment down below if you think it should. But yeah, then we just come around here. We go right in between this lake and that lake. Right next to this cave here. Yeah, there's a few different things that we've had to kind of mosey around here. And then we connect up with the path. Ocean Monument is out that way. Here's the train track from the last episode. So yeah, that is this path, the first medium priority path, completed. So, apparently, Tyler has run a little short on sand / glass for the project that he's currently working on, so I'm now going to work on delivering him a few extra double chests of sand, as I happen to have a few spare chests of sand that are not doing anything at the moment. So, let's deliver these over towards his base. You know what? This provides the perfect opportunity for me to utilize this brand new path here that connects between I guess that path towards over to Jaredy Cool's base. There is one double chest delivered. Alright, that is the second double chest of sand delivered. Chest number 3 has been delivered. With one more chest's worth of sand delivered, Tyler says he has enough now, and I got a few diamonds out of it. And also, with that, I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. So I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description. And I see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 7. Oh, it's Season 8. Bye.